Here we are. Even Schwam's trucks are here in Wisconsin. We're headed towards Sussex and see if we can find out where the graveyard is. It's a wooded area through here. The whole. Huh? Now it's open again.
Yeah, look, we're coming into it again here.
Yeah. Trees on both sides. What else do you think?
What else do I think?
Yeah.
I think we should be coming to our street here soon.
Okay.
I think there's a cart being Zion United Methodist.
What's it called? Zion what? And here's the graveyard right here. And Ron could see a Siewert stone out here. Okay, this is, you said, my great uncle?
Yeah, Martin Siewert, that would be your grandfather's brother.
It's a little hard to read. It says father, Martin Siewert, 1842 to 1931. Isn't that interesting? That's when I was born.
Yeah.
And this is Catherine.
This is your great-grandmother.
1855 to 1926.
Your great-grandmother.
Where?
Right here.
Right here?
This is the one that came over from Germany.
Okay, this is the one that left Gottlieb.
Yep.
Wilhelmina Siewert. What's it say under that?
Well, it says Geb, her birth.
Geb, okay.
6th of October, 1826. Died, or cessed, 16th of September, 1884.
Okay, that's German then, eh?
Yeah. I think Milton's son, I think. Well, no, 31, 84. I can't remember who.
See, again, he died when I was born.
Had to be more room, I guess.
John and Emma. May end up what?
Samuel, I think, was Martin's son. 1888.
Zastro was the fellow that we stayed with in
Milwaukee Road.
Milwaukee, huh?
Look at that right here, Milwaukee Road.
Yeah.
It's even got the insignia from the.
What's his name?
Ewald.
Ewald. I bet that's it.
Yeah. Hey, go stand by your great-grandmother.
Which one's that, right here?
No, right to your left. Yeah.
Born in 1826, died in September 16th, 1904. I don't remember her.
Wonder why.
Okay, I'm getting hungry. Let's go eat.
Is that all you can think about is food? You and Mother.
Oh, it's 1894.
1884.
Oh, that's still before me.
That's why you don't remember her.
I know.
The little one in front there says Mother. I'm not sure exactly if they added that.
Well, who all did you think you'd find?
But again, so the pastors were all moving around as ministers, so.
Yeah. Well, and see, my grandpa Siewert's buried in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Ouch, that tree is sharp. Janki.
No,
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe the tombstones were broken over the years.
They just replanted them randomly or something?
Well, no, I just mean that that's what's left over.
Oh. Beautiful setting. We are on Saturday morning, heading out again. We're heading towards
Saturday afternoon.
Well, no, it's not. It's 10:30, isn't it? 10:40. 10:40. But it's really only 8:40 our time. We had a nice continental breakfast in the hotel. Finally, we found it. It's in, what's the name of this town again?
We are in
Pewaukee?
Pewaukee.
Pewaukee, okay. And we're finally coming to the cemetery. Okay, here we are at Pilgrim's Rest Cemetery. There it is. Okay, now go through that again. This is the Busse corner.
Okay, the Busses are all in this area right in here, right at the very front of the cemetery.
Uh-huh.
And this road that we just came down on, this is Busse right here.
This is Busse, yeah.
I imagine that they lived either right here or awfully close to this, because we know that Wilhelmina brought William, your grandfather, as well as the rest of the kids, to the United States from Prussia and lived with her brother Samuel, which is that one gravestone I pointed out down here. So you can imagine that they lived right in this area here.
Okay, thank you. There's some pretty good size stones here. H.G. Busse.
Okay, how do you work this one?
Busse. This headstone says Corpse, C-O-R-P, Harry F. Busse, in memory of. Very hard to read.
Samuel Busse is your great-great-uncle, and Wilhelmina Busse, your great-great-grandmother, came to America with all of the kids, including William, and lived with Samuel Busse. And his wife is Beatty, or Betty, B-E-A-T-E.
Okay. Take a picture of it and then we'll have it too. That's might be Samuel's that's leaning against the tree then.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this one is here. Boy, that is so weathered. I don't even know if you can do one of those crayon scratchings to even be able to get anything. That is really weathered.
It's amazing how the rain on it changes it. Here's the cemetery from the front, from the roadside I should say. And there's a great big sign that we didn't see because we never came down this road. It says Busse Road. two entrances into the place. The cemetery?
Prairie home.
Okay, and it's in section 7. This is a large cemetery. As I pan around from the south. To section 7 here. And around again to the car. Man, this is just a line of them, isn't it? Just that's Muehl down there?
No.
George E. Muehl. Dad had a cousin named George Muehl.
Mm-hmm.
That was
a couple
Carrie
of-
Muehl's brother, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple of...
This would be, yeah, this would be the mother, probably possibly of Carrie, I wonder.
I don't know, again, a lot of these will have to take a look.
Here comes the train right through the graveyard. Well, not quite. Okay, Minnie F. Adalmi.
E.
E? Okay, that's why I failed my vision test.
She is the daughter of Wilhelmina and Gottlieb Siewert.
Okay. Reverend Lewis M. Siewert. 1857, 1938. Okay, now you said this is my great uncle?
That's your great uncle. That's the older brother of William. Or actually, younger brother. He's the younger brother
Of Dad's father.
yeah, so your great grandfather.
Okay, here's Caroline Siewert.
And she's Lewis's wife.
1864, 1937. This is one huge cemetery. This is the Zion United Methodist, right?
Yep. And at one time it was the Zion
Evangelical.
Evangelical.
Right.
(1846).
1846? Over to the left is the graveyard where we were last night. Those who throw dirt lose ground. Sunday worship, 9:45. Get another picture of the graveyard, which I already got yesterday. This is Menominee Falls. Okay. This is the house that your husband built then?
Yes,
And it's in Richfield?
No, Colgate.
Oh, Colgate.
Colgate on
Okay.
Highway.
Close to the church there?
No,
No, Colgate
No.
is the road we came down.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's the
Okay.
main, yeah. After the church, you come down Colgate to Highway Q. And Q is the county line between
Oh, okay.
Washington and Waukesha County.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Now you can keep talking and tell me more about it. Did I?
I don't know what to say now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to put you on the spot. But anyway, I wanted everyone to know who was telling me where the house was and all.
Well, that's where it was. It took them a while to build it, you know.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't overnight, and I don't know. I can even tell you what he did. He cut down the trees in the woods. See, we got a woods back
Yeah.
there. And,
Okay.
he cut down the trees, hauled them to Allenton to be milled, and then the lumber was used to build in the house.
So it stayed right on the property.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And
Great.
The floors are
Hardwood then?
red oak. Yeah.
Red oak.
Red
Okay.
oak.
Okay.
I don't know what else I can tell
That's
you.
So
fine.
is that what the majority of the trees are up there? It's just beautiful up there. I just love that whole Richfield Colgate area.
Yeah,
It's just very, just
See,
beautiful.
and now our daughter, when she got married the first time, we gave her 40 acres. See, we had 120 acres it was, and then we gave her 40, and then they built a log house up there.
Beautiful.
You go up that road, and up on the top of the hill is where the house is. So it was close by, but not, you know, I mean, they had their own
That's
privacy. And
That's neat.
now, since then, in the last year, she had her stepdaughter who is married, and they built a house on part of the land up there too. But I don't know how much acreage. I don't suppose they had a lot of acreage to go with it. But actually, they built a house now, and it's secluded in the woods, you might say.
That's neat. That's neat.
Area here. We're on Highway 45, which goes to Madison, and we're headed up to
Actually, it goes to Fond du Lac.
Fond du Lac. Oh, that's right. What did you call it?
Fond du Lac.
That's same place as Fond du Lac. And all Wisconsinites say it Fond du Lac, of course. Anyway, we're going to church in Colgate, at the little church that probably our ancestors attended many moons ago. Huh?
Not probably.
Not probably.
They did.
What's that?
They did.
They did. Oh, okay, they did. We have the authority that they did. That's right, it was an evangelical church. Now it's a Zion United Methodist Church, which the Methodists took over the evangelical church. And they had a woman pastor. Now the new guy is the new pastor is a guy, and we understand he has a ponytail, so maybe we'll get a picture of him. Change the front around from the south side. It used to be on the north end.
Oh, this is video.
Okay, we're in the church, Colgate Church, and give me your name again.
Inez Brady.
Inez and
Marjorie Mashman.
Marjorie. Okay, and then this is your son Doug right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They come up with their little, we all have those
Now we're coming north on Colgate, and this is the old Siewert farm down here that Doug Moshman now owns.
They got a dairy herd in there.
Yeah.
And so this is his feed here in these bags. 3309, and this is Willow
Willow Creek.
Willow Creek Road. Okay, now this was built in what? 18 something?
No, he said that he didn't. He said it was 100 years old.
And it's just walking distance from the church. Now we're looking west and the church is right down there, by the curve there. Mashman owns it now. Yeah. Okay, and that's the backyard. And this maple tree, right?
Oh,
Yeah, because you can see where the branch broke off there.
the old Siewert homestead is located on the southwest corner of Willow Creek and Colgate Road. Doug Mashman, the current owner of the farm, told us that when he was a kid he had been told the farm was over 100 years old. Doug retired from teaching in spring 2005. From what we know at this point, Wilhelmina Siewert lived here in the late 1870s until her death, with her son Gottlieb running the dairy. Gottlieb owned until his death in 1917, when his son Wesley took over. The Mashmans said that during the Depression, Wesley lost the farm but was able to buy it back later. It was sold to the Mashmans in the late 1940s. This farmhouse is directly across the street from the Siewert homestead. It was simply too quaint not to add the picture.
Hey, you can say hi to my wife Joyce and to Bob and Dottie.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And John and Joyce and Chuck and Harriet.
memories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good to be here.
Chuck and Harriet. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Hey.
I'll just do something here.
Yeah. So when you put it on your computer, then where does it go from there?
From here, it goes to, this goes to Elmbrook, and they take it out to Ambassador in Anaheim.
So okay, now you don't send it then to Anaheim. You
No.
Okay.
I don't, but they do take it. And I know right where they go, the Ambassador building.
uh-huh.
You know, there are no flies driving me back.
Getting glare. So I get the
Well,
verse
maybe
here
rest
too.
it on something so that so.
So he was selling all
See,
phases of
that's-
insurance, right?
Yeah, that's the old 614 household.
Okay. We have gone through Appleton. We're headed up Black Creek, toward Black Creek on Highway 54. Or no, this is what? 47. We're going to intersect 54 and go over to Seymour. So we got about 4 or 5 miles yet to Black Creek. Lots of dairies in here. We are headed, we just came off of Highway 54 and we're heading downtown on North 55, Highway 55. This is Maine? Okay. The funeral home.
It's on Muehl Street, so I'm going to take a right, I think. So this way it is.
Took that picture. Okay. Okay.
Well, it's a great house there. Across the street.
Hey, this is downtown Seymour, I take
There's
it.
that old hotel.
Yeah, there's the hotel. Oh yeah, there's the front door. Here we are in Seymour at the Muehl, they call it Muehl Public Library. History of Outagamie County, Wisconsin. Inside are some notes we'll look at.
The history of Outagamie County, Wisconsin was published in the late 1800s and includes quite a bit of information about the Seymour area.
The Zion Church of the Evangelical Association was organized in 1870 under the ministry of Reverend Zollhofer. The families of Frederick Muehl and others were among the first of the faith in the Seymour area. The first services were held in Frederick Muehl's home. Louis Martin Siewert, William's brother, was the pastor of the church from 1899 to 1903. This biography talks about Albert Koleth. Albert married Hannah Siewert, who was the younger sister to William Christoph Siewert. What is most interesting about this biography about Albert Koleth is it goes into a little more detail about the Siewert family, specifically Hannah Siewert, Albert Koleth's wife that he met in Richfield, Wisconsin area. Mrs. Koleth was born July 28, 1860, a daughter of Gottlieb and Minnie Busse Siewert. Mr. Siewert died in Germany, but the mother, desiring to give her children all the advantages that lay in her power, bravely set forth for the United States with her family of 12, bringing them to Richland, which should be Richfield, Wisconsin, where their uncle Samuel Busse had located some years before. The 12 children of Gottlieb and Minnie Siewert were Caroline, Martin, Gottlieb, Daniel, William, August, Augusta, Louis, Julia, Minnie, Hannah, and Fred. This ad from 1903 is announcing the upcoming Seymour Fair between September 24th through the 26th. This is a photo of the west side of Main Street in Seymour around 1900. Seymour was in the heart of the dairy country. This photo is of one of the creameries, the Equity Creamery. This photo is of Stock Fair Day in 1889, view of Depot Street looking west across Main Street. Seymour High School, 1904. This is the original Hotel Seymour, unfortunately torn down quite a few years ago. Philip Muehl. Among the early settlers here who have gained distinction and prominence in trade, we find Mr. Muehl. He is a dealer in furniture, carpets, wallpaper, oilcloth, window shades, rugs, toys, bicycles, sewing machines, and he also does undertaking and embalming. His store is 2 stories, 22 by 72 feet, with an annex 14 by 22 feet, all of which is crowded with goods of the best and most desirable quality. As a leading businessman and citizen, Mr. Muehl occupies a position well merited. He has been both school and city treasurer. This photograph is of Philip Muehl's furniture store and annex. These buildings were located on the present library site. Philip Muehl's hearse and funeral rigs were available with both black or white teams. Harvey Muehl, the grandson of Frederick Muehl and son of Philip Muehl, is shown here receiving the Outstanding Seymour Citizen Award of 1968. This is Philip Muehl's residence on East Factory Street. On the porch are Harvey and Philip Muehl. This 1965 newspaper photo identified this home as the oldest home in Seymour. It was built and owned by Frederick Muehl. Now over 100 years old, the home still stands and looks very much the same over the years.
This is a Muehl crypt, and there's a William and a Julia, I believe it was. Let me check again. Yes, it's Julia and Philip and Harvey Muehl. Okay, this is the one that we have the picture of.
This is your grandmother.
And it's my grandmother, Dad's mom, who died when he when she was giving him birth.
Magdalena Muehl was born August 8, 1857, the sixth of 9 children born to Frederick and Dorothea Muehl. Magdalena, called Lena by friends and family, married William Christoph Siewert on April 7, 1881 in Seymour, Wisconsin. Lena died from complications incurred during the birth of Leonard William Siewert on May 4, 1887. She was 29 years old.
There's a farm right behind the cemetery here. Unreadable, but it's...
Well, this is Fred Muehl. He was the 51st Wisconsin, so he was in Civil War.
Okay.
But this is Lena's father.
Okay,
Magdalena's father.
and then this is a marker that they put up.
Yeah, and I'm wondering
Later.
if maybe Dorothy, his wife, if maybe her marker got broken and they decided to replace and add both.
Okay.
And it looks like it's the same marker as for Fred Jr. So
Right, which is right beside us here.
yeah, so they probably 1854 to 1945.
Oh, 45.
The furniture store.
Fred did?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I thought, oh, okay, then Harvey was his son.
Yeah.
Thing is busted off, isn't it?
Yep. I'm sure there's a way to stick it back in there.
You really need to dig into the concrete
Yeah.
and the stone.
So who is that?
It's about the best, huh?
So who are you standing next to, or kind of?
Magdalena Muehl Siewert, who died in childbirth.
Yeah.
This is your great-great-grandmother, right?
No, it's my great-grandmother.
Great-man, okay. Okay.
It's a little thing here, but it's,
Your what?
I'm gonna try to fix a little thing here, but it's not gonna sit on there just right.
Somebody busted it off and it's not very solid. Okay, this cemetery is about 5 or 6 miles out of town. On French Road, is it? Yeah. And surrounded by all these farms and beautiful rolling hills with trees galore everywhere. We are heading back to Seymour on Highway 55. And some gorgeous farms along here. This is on Tuesday morning. We're coming into Seymour from the east side now. On Main, right?
There's Pope Street. Pope Street.
Yeah. Give me your names.
Teresa.
Teresa. And how long have you lived in this area, Teresa?
Oh, I've been here about 35 years.
Okay. And
Carol Pierre.
Carol?
Mhm.
And, excuse me.
I was born and raised in this area, so
Okay, but you were not here in 47 when we were here.
I was here, I was 1 year old, yes.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much for your help and
You're
for all the
welcome.
information.
Hope you find everything.
And tell me your name again, too.
My name is Mrs. Mary Krabby. This is the Krabby Reader Bookstore in
Okay.
Yarn Shop. I'm
Okay.
a retired school teacher.
It's Carol
Okay.
Pierre. We have some people in Seymour here
Thank you.
who haven't been around for
Okay, this is the old Seymour Hotel. And Mary told us that it was mainly for railroad guys because they were just small rooms and they would stay overnight and then get on their next route and head out again. And we talked to Mary in the bookstore there. Okay, this is the dining room of the old Seymour Hotel, right? Okay. And here comes our waitress. Smile. You're on candid camera. Okay, we're eating here at the Hotel Seymour. And we've seen a lot around here. Taking a picture of us eating here.
No, you're taking a picture of me eating here. You're not eating.
Right, well, I'm eating, but I got my salad right there.
Oh, but you're not eating it. So
We're eating in grace here. Barside Laundry, and what's the next one down there? Hardware store, that's what she said. Lots of traffic here. And here's the museum that we're going to meet Rita, who is the curator of it, at 11 o'clock. Seymour Community Museum. This is on the porch back here. The bank, 1887. That's the date Dad was born.
Or that was actually here, or
I don't know.
they brought it in?
This might have been the bank here.
I don't think so. The bank was in the main.
The ticket booth for the fair, and then the park behind us. Okay, Rita, and what's your last name?
Gosse, G-O-S-S-E.
Okay, and you're the curator of the
I'm the
museum.
president of the Historical Society.
Okay.
Here, and have been for a while, and maybe this year is going to change. Maybe 2006 I'll be losing this job, I'm hoping so, and let a younger person come in, and a very nice young man who was a history teacher here in Seymour and has so much knowledge of Seymour. So it's going to be nice to have a change over, and I will still work with it because I've been with it since 1974 or 5. Since it started, so it's been, you know, when you say, am I taking your time? No, I've been here this long, and I'm proud to always show our museum. We have a nice
Thank you
museum.
so much. We appreciate it. Okay. Okay, this is the museum. Is there a name for it? Is it just Seymour Museum or?
Seymour Community Museum.
Community, okay. This is him.
And he was governor of New York, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I always meant to ask, I mean, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, why would they name the town after the governor of New York?
Well, he had intended to come to this area.
Oh.
He had lots of property within this area. He bought it. He thought he could make a waterway from here to the Mississippi. That was what his thought was to begin with. And so he had land around here, and from there, it didn't turn out the way he had hoped. But they say he never came to Seymour, but then somebody had written an article said he was here.
Grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his daughters was Magdalena Muehl. Magdalena Muehl married William Christoph Siewert, my great-grandfather. So that's kind of, so we saw her grave out there. In fact, the library has her as Magdaleno, because they couldn't read the inscription on the headstone. But it's Magdalena Siewert.
Oh, so you've been to the library then too?
We went to the library yesterday afternoon, so that was fun. But to actually see the gravestone, it just kind of brings everything, all these people.
Crypt out at the cemetery.
Oh, okay.
They rebuilt it, and so they called us and said, you know, I'm not sure we can even get this out, but if we can, we're going to give them to the museum.
Oh, neat.
And so we put them up above the window.
But they are down right about in here. So it'd be
would it be a different township then?
Well, I know that at one point in the census it was Osborne, but most
the plat book, and so if you wanted to look up,
you know, if you have it handy, I'd sure love to
just
look,
look
because the library didn't have it.
Okay, let me zero in on it.
Yeah. And look at that, Charles Milkey owned property down here, so he either his son, or we don't know the Milkey's name, do we? The one that bought the property?
No. Okay.
we had never gone into genealogy, but we're trying to do a little bit more all the time.
You put, wrong Siewert and then the address or something like that. It was kind of neat because unfortunately I didn't find anybody who was looking for the same group that I was looking for in this one.
I put down the names of
There's no
who you're looking
date
for.
on this. Looks like it's back in the early 1900s.
Around here, and we've never been able to find somebody that had a movie of Seymour at one time, but we do show the parades. And
It's okay though. Better have too much than too little.
Yeah. Little hood over the casket. This was the Muehl crypt.
Yeah, or for the windows and
Yeah. Which now they've made a new one in what was it? Just a few years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago.
on already. And then a gentleman from Seymour bought the property and said he was donating it back to the city to be used for a library and museum. But this was supposed to be demolished. And then we saw this and thought, what if we could just have this? We were in the railroad building at the time. That was our first museum. And we had to move it across the street because the railroad said we'd have to move it. And so we
There's no egg scale. Old saws and implements, grinders, chisels, leather punches, hammers, all kinds of leather working tools.
give this man to tear it down for $3,000.
There's Mom's sewing machine.
That is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dining room in an older home, along with the kitchen, so we
Right.
put a dining room in, and the old kitchen.
And they often had a parlor too, right?
A parlor, but we don't have a parlor.
Rita said that this is a Olson rug where you took your old rags and turned them into the Olson Carpet Company, and then they made a double-sided carpet out of it using the rags only. I remember that. I think we had one at home.
We don't know really what we're going to do, how we're going to place them.
Maybe you start for a new building when you get your new building. So.
It's not going to be big enough. I'd never. And that went back to this hallway here, and this used to be a dentist office. The waiting room, the dentist office, and he did his work in here. And you would come up from here, and they did at one time have a wall that was taken down, and the door, we can get out there now, and we'll use it as a fire escape after they build on. Or sometime we thought maybe the elevator would come up this high.
Noticed this before. These are curtains that are made out of sacks, grain sacks. Pie's cooking in the oven. And all the condiments up above. The pots and the pans. And Mother taking care of the cooking. And here's the dining room with a table set and a high chair for Baby made out of wood.
You know, the glass trays in here.
That's beautiful.
Everything, milk glass. So it became our. So when people come to visit, we just let them, meander around. We have. No, this is Dr. Hippner. Here's that picture I told you about. That. If you just.
State Bank. Old Edison record player. Some more trumpets up there. There's my cornet. It's been here all this time, huh? Here's some sheet music. And an old clock. Remember that? I had one of those when I was out in the room off the garage there.
51st, Wisconsin. Now, whether that was during the Civil War, I don't know. He died in 1899 and was born in 1822. So it would make sense that he would have been around
Could have
that
very
time.
well, yeah.
So now, whether the 51st saw any action, I don't know. But
Seymour also had a theater. It was called the Seymour Theater. All the starlets that they had, stars and starlets that they had at the theater, and an old projector. You what?
I'm going to just let you roam around. And
okay.
This is the Evangelical Church, which has now been raised. This is a threshing crew on the Zybel Ranch, or place, farm, north of Seymour, around 1900. Seymour Electric Light and Power Company, 1904. Muehl's Grocery, 1925 calendar. Another picture doesn't say really when it was. Edwin Frieda.
You want me to hold
Edwin
the page
Frieda.
for you?
Well, I got. Here's Harvey Muehl in the center, the clerk. That's Dorothea Muehl. There's the. Hamburger Charlie. Since 1885. Here's one of his hamburgers. Come into the yard. They're very close to town.
12, I think it was, and moved to California. So now that's your wife?
Okay, keep talking.
We're gonna go out and milk some cows now.
Okay.
Just a little bit early for that. Is it? Oh, okay.
Okay, and you bought the farm in 1964.
54, yeah.
Okay. And
My son will be looking for y'all tonight.
Oh, really?
Celebrate our other son's birthday.
Stock barn. And looking to the northwest here. Now I'm panning around to the west. And that's where the quarry is out in there. And the alfalfa field here. And the road continues around over to the property, and the property is those trees over there. That is line. They're pretty tall.
Yeah, it is.
International tractor and a Ford. In there, and the blower just blows it right up to the very top, which is what, how many feet do you think that is?
I have no idea.
That's got to be at least 60 feet. What did he say? He had 30 head, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's kept the farm up really nice. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah, it's very nice.
looks good. This is where the quarry was down in here. Built it in part way and then added trees evidently to build it up.
Jumped off, threw him in the pile.
Yeah. Well, and I guess when Dad was here, they had to do a lot of clearing of stones. Did you find one?
This is an interesting mix of rock. Well, that's concrete. I mean,
I would say that's probably the property line. Oh yeah. Oh, there's the road. Oh, I don't think so unless you do. Huh? Take a picture of him dumping.
that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, I see the silage coming into the trailer there.
So is that coming from the silo then?
Huh?
Because they already did their duty.
Boy, those beams do sag. Oh well. Here's the old house. And that added section in the front here, kind of like a lean-to, is what was added. And as I recall, the house burned down when Dad was a teenager. I can't remember the year. Okay. And this is the new shed that he put up in the 50s. I'm running out of tape.